Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Fazlin binti Nor Azman. Today I would like to representing to Madam about the radionuclide imaging and its comparison with other modalities. So what is the radionuclide imaging? Radionuclide imaging is the production of image of internal body parts obtained by the cameras that detect the radioactive emissions of an ejected radionuclide as it has distributed differentially throughout the body's tissues. So this is the principle, which is the comparison principle between the radionuclide imaging, MRI, CT scan, ultrasound, and general X-ray. So for the radionuclide imaging, it is begin with the administrative or the radio label tracer. The tracer contains a radioactive isotope. The image acquisition is by positioning the patients under a gamma camera or a PET scanner. The radiation is transmitted to the inside of the body. Image can be dynamic with the counts over second to minutes collated into the frames and displayed as a cine sequence. So for the MRI, MRIs employs powerful magnets which produce a strong magnetic field that force proton in the body to align with that field. It is the difference between various type of tissues, and contrast agent may be given to patients by IV, and the special design coil are used in the MRI, and it is used non-ionizing radiations. For CT scan, it is uses the X-ray to build cross-sectional image, which is slices of the body. It is create a comprehensive non-moving image of organ, bones, and tissues. In this CT scan, X-ray are used to make image by sending them through the body, and if any contrast media is used. So for the ultrasound use a high frequency sound wave to generate an image. It is a non-invasive diagnostic technique used to image inside the bodies. The skin is covered with a thin layer of the gel, and it is ultrasound is provide for the tracking the babies and also the diagnosis of malignancies. So in general X-ray will penetrate the body tissues and allow to image internal organ. General X-ray use ionizing radiation, which is X-ray, to provide an image, and does not use any contrast media. For the component, radionuclide imaging use gamma rays, display, computers, scintillators, photomultiplier tubes, collimator, amplifier, pulse high analyzer, digital correction circuit. For MRI, basically it is use magnet and has scanner, gradient coil, radio frequency coil, which is RF coils, and patient table, and also the control panel. For CT scan, use the gantry, detector array, X-ray tube, couch, computer control console, and also the slip ring. For the ultrasound, we use display and monitor, control panel, transducer or probe, transducer cable, keyboard, and also the CD and DVD drive. In general X-ray, use the X-ray tube, erect and table bucky, cassette, film, and also the operating system console. This is the radionuclide imaging machine, and this is the MRI machine, CT scan machine, ultrasound machine, and also the general X-ray machine. So for the image formations, radionuclide imaging, it is used two modes, okay, which is frame mode and list mode. Frame mode is a most common mode that used nowadays, which is in static, dynamic, and gated. Okay, it is acquired in the whole body and single photon emissions computed tomography studies. A metric of computer location is clear in memory prior to the start of acquisitions. For each detected event, the appropriate metric element is incremented, which is continuous until a pre-selected time interval or total count value is reached. And the memory or storage space are required for the frame mode. And for the list mode, it is less commonly used. Nowadays, dah tak guna sangat, okay? And the computer goes through the list of locations and increments a metric element corresponding to that set of coordinates. And for the MRI, the first thing is hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen has been and can experience resonance. MRI scanner will use a very powerful magnet to align the hydrogen in the body. Then they are hit with the radio wave and resonance occur and the spin change. When the hydrogen relax, they will release the radio wave, and these signals are detected by the MRI scanner. Each data radio wave is transmitted to a computer as data, and the computer interpret all the data points. Then the computer will convert the data into the MRI image using a Fourier transform, and the area where there are more hydrogen will absorb and release more signal. So for the CT scan, the tube that encircles the scanner revolve in a 360-degree circles. The photon energy will be released and the photon energy will travel through the body of the patients, and the energy is detected by the detector. The scan data will be used to do the image reconstruction and digital image is formed. The image will be transformed from the digital to analog before it can be displayed on the screen. Kalau tak, image tu tak boleh dibaca lah. And for the ultrasound image is produced based on the reflection of the wave of the body structures. Okay, the transducer is used to interrogate the area of interest after a coupling gel has been applied to the skin. The energy is converted from the electrical to the mechanical energy, which is used the piezoelectric crystal. And the transducer sends ultrasound wave into the area of interest approximately 1% of the time and listen for the returning echoes 99% of the time. For the general X-ray, X-ray is emitted by the X-ray tube, and some of the X-ray beam is absorbed in the tissues and some passes through the anatomic part, and then it will hit the image receptor and X-ray energy is converted into the light energy by the image receptor. And the film absorbs light energy resulting in image contrast. So for the image storage, basically for radionuclide imaging, MRI, CT scan, ultrasound, and general X-ray will store in packs, okay, using the DICOMS format, okay. Sekarang memang dah semua simpan dekat dalam pack system lah, using pack system. And basically they have film which is film based, which is hard copy, okay. If radiologist ataupun patient nak kan, boleh lah, boleh kita bagi dekat patient. And for ultrasound, kita akan include CD, okay, ada juga CD or DVD or Blu-ray. Untuk CT scan and MRI juga also kadang-kadang ada yang menggunakan CD atau DVD ikut kepada keperluan radiologi tersebut. And radionuclide imaging, okay, kalau dia guna film base, okay, hard copy, it will use Kodak high contrast copy film for the brain scan, and for the dynamic studies, will use when higher film speed or a wider grayscale is needed. It will use the Kodak RAR 2498 is used, okay, which is Kodak RAR 2498 is used. And this is the advantage and disadvantage of radionuclide imaging. The advantage is provide unique informations, okay, selain daripada other imaging procedures, and most useful diagnostic or treatment untuk any disease, and offer the potential to identify the disease in its earliest stage and less expensive berbanding dengan surgery. And also by detecting whether the lesion are likely benign or malignant, PET scan can eliminate the need for surgical biopsy or identify the best biopsy location. For the disadvantages, okay, it is a relatively high cost, dia mahal, and radiation risk, which is the radiation dia tinggi. There are no known long-term adverse effect for such low dose exposures, and disposal of radioactivity waste, and usually requiring an injection into the bloodstream, which is kita masukkan ubat lah, memerlukan injection. So that's all from me. Thank you.